Greetings, I'm Slice, and today I'll be showing you the fight against the Everdark Sovereign Libra, the Enhanced Equilibrious Beast. Now, this is early footage of this Everdark Sovereign, and buckle up. So before we get started, there are a few things you need to know. So, the Everdark Sovereign Equilibrious Beast has a higher chance of spawning the Frenzied Flame event in your world. Now, I didn't have a Shifting Earth for this expedition, so I don't know if that matters or not, but it happened with no Shifting Earth, and I had 2 camps that were Frenzied, and I didn't get it when I didn't have any Frenzy camps. So if you have 2 camps that are Frenzy, or maybe 1, you're probably more likely to get the Frenzied Flame event. So if you want to restart your game until you have 2 camps that are Frenzy, go ahead, because honestly, this is worth it. Anyway, if you're not familiar with the Frenzied Flame event in Elden Ring Nightreign, you essentially have to go around this tower that is covered in enemies that are affected by Frenzy, and if you sit closer to the Frenzied Flame, you get Madness. Now, these enemies do drop clarifying boluses that you should be eating. You can bring some in to the boss fight. Eating the clarifying boluses makes you more resistant to Frenzy, which is something that Libra has in this boss battle. This gives you 2 rewards. Usually you get the Vike's War Spear and the Frenzied Flame Seal. In this case, I took the Frenzied Flame Seal, but honestly, Vike's War Spear is also a good pick here if you're a melee character. Anyway, so next up, we are going to show you some early footage of the Everdark Sovereign Equilibrious Beast, the Enhanced Libra Creature of Night. Now, buckle up. Please keep in mind that this is early footage and things are probably going to change, or they might not, who knows. Just so you know, this is early footage, so some things might be different in your game. Also, it is important to note that at the end of day 2, I almost always got the Those Who Live in Death and the Deathrite Bird boss fights, so if that's something that you want to know, then keep that in mind. Throughout this whole expedition, I went for HP upgrades, incantation upgrades, affinity attack power, and other cool stuff like that. If you're playing a melee character or as Iron Eye, I suggest you go for Frenzy stuff, of course, but if you don't manage to get Frenzy stuff, you can also deal additional damage to Libra with fire, as this boss is slightly weaker to fire. Now, you don't have to be Iron Eye for this boss battle, because this boss will not be placing its sigils like the normal Libra. At least for me, it didn't. Anyway, I'm going in with 3 Wending Grace into this boss battle. So much like in the base form, Libra will allow you to get an upgrade before the boss fight. I honestly don't recommend you get anything unless you get the power of a demon, or something like, you know, enhanced stamina or something like that. But keep in mind that you get a debuff if you do choose to get a blessing from him. Anyway, I decided to not choose anything. I refused to make a deal with Libra, and the boss battle began. So I had the Frenzied Flame Seal. As soon as Libra started glowing, I started charging it up and targeted him twice, and I dealt Madness damage to him. Now, you can keep going or you can capitalize however you want, but honestly, you have to keep in mind that this boss is very easy, and if you have 3 people that have frenzied stuff. But I was solo, so it was slightly more challenging. Now, the boss will go into this mode where he sits. You need to not touch this circle, otherwise it will deal a lot of damage, as you can see here. And then this is its Everdark Sovereign look. He has like a thing in the middle of his chest, and he is hitting me like a truck. Now, this boss is still very difficult, don't get me wrong, but Iron Eye certainly made this a lot better. At some point, Libra will summon the Condemned. A demon shrouds all allies also. So throughout this boss fight, this boss will cause certain mini events and debuff you, or like pretty much mess with you. It can summon mirror images of your character with its base bow. It doesn't have enhanced bow, so it's just the starter bow, but it's still annoying. So if you're playing with friends, it will summon copies of your friends as well. So Libra is still doing very familiar attacks. As you can see here, the circle that spams the beams with frenzy attack. And he also teleports on you and he causes a lot of damage. But most importantly, he spawns those circles around you and beneath you that deal a lot of damage. So at some point, Libra will also offer a challenge. When he says offers a challenge, he will cut your HP in half until you survive long enough. Another one is a demon incites a riot. When he says that, it means it summons multiple mirror images of you and your friends. Now, this boss is not particularly difficult, but the debuffs and the mini challenges that he summons in are what makes this bot slightly more challenging and more unpredictable than others. It's not super difficult as you would imagine, but it definitely does become a bit of a random fest here. Anyway, at some point, the boss will spawn a bunch of these walls, as you can see. If you stand within them, you will be affected by his trials. So I'm not too sure if you're able to run out of the walls, so you're gonna have to tell me when the boss comes out, but I wasn't able to. Anyway, Iron Eye with his marking and his character skill are proving to be really good here. Despite me taking a lot of damage, this boss does spawn a bunch of sigils around the world that will deal constant madness damage. Now, don't forget, guys, if you have resistances, you will be more resistant to frenzy attacks, and you can pick up those little orbs at the bottom that that glow on the ground. And anyway, that heals your madness. This is why I recommend bringing in clarifying boluses. Anyway, that's the enhanced Libra. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't easy. It really isn't. This is my second attempt, and it is really, really tough. I personally am kind of good with Iron Eye, despite me taking a lot of damage. But, so that's probably the reason why I was able to know a little bit more how to dodge and stuff like that. Anyway, so let's show you what the Dark Knight of the Demon Relic is. The reward for defeating Libra, Creature of Night, the Enhanced Everdark Sovereign Equilibrious Beast. So, upon defeating the boss, you will receive Sovereign Sigils, of course, and you'll be able to go to the Collector Signboard and purchase the brand new relic. And this brand new relic is taking attacks, improves attack power, gesture cross legs, builds up madness, and madness continually recovers FP. So, maybe it's good. I don't know. I don't think this is good, to be honest. We already have taking attack, improves attack power. But you're going to have to let me know in the comments down below what you think about it. Anyway, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I will have more guides and a more in-depth run down of this boss when it releases. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.